Good afternoon, it's Ngozi Talk Show. Good afternoon, Ngozi Talk Shows family. It's Nomsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, I have Angie Simmons. How are you, Angie?
I'm doing okay. Thank you very much.
Awesome, awesome. So our topic today is mastering the fearless mindset, overcoming any obstacles with confidence. So on this video, if you tune in with us, you're going to discover the secret to develop a fearless mindset that empowers you to conquer any obstacles with confidence. Which confidence is what I am working on at this moment with my 30-day challenge. So Angie, when you saw this topic, what was in your mind? What did you think?
Well, conquering the mindset is huge. Not a destination, it's a process. It's working on it continuously. You know, when I heard the great Jim Rohn say a few years back, when I got on my own path of self-discovery and recovery, was you need to work harder on you than you do anything else. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Rather than working on your job or relationships with other people, things like that, it's about working on you. And most of us don't. I know I never did. 2013, I never even heard of personal development. I thought, what? It was just by accident that I came into it. But since then, I do on a daily basis. Every single day, I work on my mindset. And we all have challenges. Every single person has a challenge that they're going through right now, or just been through, or just about to go into. Life likes to throw little challenges at us to test us. And I think, me personally, if your mindset is not right, that challenge can either derail you or take you to the next level. Personally, I've found in the past that it's derailed me, but not so much now. So for you to achieve what you want out of life, you know, the other thing I heard that you have to improve your mindset to get to that next level. So your business, your relationships, your job will only get to the level that your mindset is. So for me, it is about working harder on you than anything else. Because if you've got the right mindset that life is happening to you instead of for you, then that can be the difference between being derailed or moving forward. I used to sit there and think, why is this happening to me? Well, actually, now looking at that, well, why? Who else did I want to go through that pain and that anguish? I didn't. But we all get into our own heads when stuff's happening. We think, what have I done wrong this time? Why is this happening? You know, can't I get a break? And, you know, for me, it's all about life giving you challenges for growth. You know, I heard it a few months back about success tax. And I was like, success tax? So all that stuff that I have been through has enabled me to get to where I've got to now. So I've got no anguish or anger or pain or, you know, I don't carry the past with me, because that stuff that's happened to me, I now see that it's happened to me for a reason, for me to be where I am today. I hope that makes sense.
Of course, it does make sense, Angie. I like it as well when you say we are meant to work on our mindset, but some people don't work on themselves. They expect life to give them joy, give them peace. But if you're not working on yourself, then that means your mindset will not develop. And also you mentioned about the business, the relationship, everything that we have around us is all to do with mindset. And also having a good mindset, that mastering your mindset, it means when you are faced with the failure, you learn to embrace that failure. And also you learn to go for the opportunities, which is working on my confidence now with this 30-day challenge is making me, I'm working on myself. I'm not working on anybody else. I'm just looking at myself without blaming myself or without blaming anybody else. It's just all about me. It's all about facing my fears. It's all about actually viewing how I view life, looking at how I view life as a person, and how I can grow moving forward as well. I'm just working on things that can take my life to the next level. And what Angie is saying is actually true. I never did work on my mindset before, but when I started comparing my life, I was like, why am I like stressed? Like, I feel like this little bit of anxiety, but when I was in Africa, I was so happy. Now I'm like so stressed. But I realized that when I was in Africa, I was in my early adulthood. And then when I came to the UK now, that I'm turning like 20, I was 24. Then I was in a place where now I've become a follower. I'm following my friends, what they do, what they wear, admire it, go and buy similar things, the high heels, the what you call it. And my mindset wasn't in the right place. But when I actually started questioning myself, I don't feel like a normal person. I realized that I got to do some work. And it took a lot for me to actually get to where I need to go. But in the process, the good thing is, once you start, it's hard to admit that I need help. I need to sort things out. It's hard. But once you actually admit that I need to work on myself, that journey is so beautiful. Sometimes you might have bad days, you might have good days, but that is normal. So mastering your mind requires you to know the power of success. The power of success, it does not require popularity, which is something that I forgot. When we were having this hoo-ha with my company, I actually forgot that actually I don't have to be popular. It's on my door. Success does not require popularity. There are some people who might not agree with what you're doing. There are some people who might not agree with this new mindset, because this new mindset that we have, when we are mastering it, people need to have a relationship with it. They need to get to know it. So sometimes they might not. So you have to be somebody that is ready to actually face the consequences. We're talking about the children before we came on, me and Angie, that her daughter is actually auditioning to go to this industry that is very, very tough. So in order for her to actually get what she wants, she's going to have to see the rejection as, you know what, I keep going. I keep going and just having a diary and just tick and just having fun with it in the process. So that's what we were talking about. Angie, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, darling. Well, as we said before we came on, it's all right. Children, I could potentially talk to your child or somebody else's child and they'll listen. But our own children, apparently, us parents don't know anything. Great. So yeah, that causes a little bit of stress, and it would, trying to get her to understand that it's a process, not a destination. That's all she's focusing on, is that destination. Instead of thinking, right, well, let's have some fun with it, because finding what makes your soul sing, which is what makes her soul sing, the dancing, the acting and singing. Me personally, what makes my soul sing is creativity, being out in nature with my camper car, Olive and Puds, and helping other people. That's what makes my soul sing. Everybody's got something different. So when we're talking about success, my success might be not what's your success. So for anybody that's listening, think about, what does success mean to you, not somebody else. It's about what you want out of life, not what somebody else wants or tells you that you need to do. So when we come about mindset, unfortunately, we're not taught it at school. It needs to be taught. But then sometimes I think, well, maybe the powers that be don't want people thinking for themselves. And when you was talking earlier about somebody else and what they want, it reminded me of something that I heard earlier, recently, and I absolutely loved it. So just a quick story about success, about what you want to achieve out of life. Now, you can see I'm wearing glasses. Now, we go to the opticians and we get given glasses if we can't see. So this is about your vision, your success, right? So I want you to think about it in that way. So my vision, my success, what my success was a few years back, was success. What it meant to me was being the best mum that I could be, because I didn't feel like a good mum. In January 2014, popping the antidepressants like Smarties, drinking like a fish, anything to quieten her mind because I didn't know any better. She was being picked on at school. She was at the bottom of her class. All she wanted was a mum, but I was just somewhere else. I was carrying all that anger, that pain, that hurt with me, just like some sort of badge. So for me, back then, success meant, what it meant to me was being the best mum ever. Now I look at my daughter and I know I'm successful in that area, regardless of whether she's trying to rip my head off because she's stressing about this, that, and the other. I know I have done my best to support her and be there for her. She wouldn't be doing what she's doing now if it wasn't for the fact that I turned around and went, right, I'm sacking the boss and I'm becoming self-employed, because I don't want to watch my daughter being brought up by somebody else. I don't want my daughter to be in so much anguish that I can't be there for her. I made her my number one priority. And then it was like, actually, I need to make myself my number one priority, because if I'm not okay, then I can't help her. So going back to this analogy, regards to glasses, my vision now, my success now, is to have my wellbeing camp. So would it be fair to say that that success, that vision, would not be somebody else's? You wouldn't be interested in doing that, would you, Nomsa? Selling up and buying land and building your own wellbeing camp? But what we do sometimes is we give our glasses to somebody else and expect them to see our own vision. And when they put the glasses on and go, oh, whoa, 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 everything's blurred, I can't see that, then we quit. They're not supposed to see your vision. Your vision is yours. Your success is yours. Stop expecting other people to see your vision and your success, because they can't. We're all individual, unique beings, and we've all got our own ideas of what we want our lives to be. But then we go and speak to somebody, and because they don't see it, oh yeah, maybe not then. Don't do that. Don't do that. I heard it recently. Do not take relationship advice of somebody that's got a string of divorces behind them. Do not take advice regards to finances of somebody who's absolutely broken massively in debt. I don't turn around and speak to my friends who have jobs when it comes to my business, because they've never had a business. They don't understand how to run a business. They don't understand the stresses of having a business. So I will speak to my friends who've got businesses if I need help and support. You know, the ones that have got successful businesses, or, you know, in that sense, I wouldn't go speaking to somebody whose business is not doing anything, because they can't help. So when it comes to your vision, your success, you have to go within. You have to work on you, work harder on you. So like I say, it's not taught, unfortunately. And I think a lot of people say, well, where the hell does that start? So we invest in our homes if something's broke. If we have a car, we're not going to go down the road. Say, for instance, when I was going to Liverpool yesterday, now I know it's going to take me 2 hours. And I know I'm going to need a full tank of petrol. I need to make sure my tyres are inflated. I need to make sure that my car is safe for me and my daughter to travel. But for some reason, we don't think about us like that. We think we can go on autopilot and we can work 24 hours running around like an headless chicken and not take that time to slow down and invest in us. So for me, like TV, yes, don't get me wrong, I will watch a bit of TV, but I won't watch the news. I really do not watch the news if I can help it. Sometimes it just props up, but I try not to, because all that stuff does is deflate me. But I will watch a bit of TV just for a bit of time out. But most of the time, I'm either journaling, I'm doing my gratitude, I'm doing my meditation, I'm listening to an inspirational podcast. You know, when I first started my speaking, all I did was study how to become a good speaker. I didn't just wing it. I had to figure out how the best way to talk about your tonality and all that sort. I had to invest my time in figuring out how to do that. But for some reason, we forget that. We go to school, we study to get a good job. So if we want to be a scientist, we'll probably do all the sciences. We wouldn't go and do PE if we want to be a scientist. So I think we just get a bit confused about stuff. If there's something that somebody wants to learn, they need to invest in that and learn how to do it. Or, you know, if they want to do it, I'm a great believer in not focusing on the stuff that you're not very good at, because that kills your confidence. You know, we taught at school that you need to work on the things that you're good at. Me personally, I don't do any of that anymore. I focus on the stuff that I'm good at and get better at it and even better at it. And if there's something that I'm not so good at, I'll give it somebody else to do, like me, video editing. I've got to do a few and I'm procrastinating because I'm not very good at things like that. So I'll give it somebody else to do. And I'll just focus on the stuff that I am good at. And that, when you are achieving stuff that you're good at, you know, that brings that all those fantastic, I'll say dose, because it's easier, all those happy hormones, you know, your dopamine, your oxytocin, your serotonin, your endorphins. So small wins, even if it's one step, that's what's going to improve your confidence, not working on the stuff that you're no good at. I'm rambling again. You know me and my rambles. But yeah,
it's so amazing how life is. I think we have to, that's why we have to actually we have people that are good at things and people that are good at things. But for me, what I've learned, if I have time, if I'm not good at something, if I have time, because what I've realized as I go through my business journey, if I hire somebody to do something, if I don't know anything about what I'm doing, what is meant to be done, I find people just do their own things. They don't do the job properly. So what I do is I do some research. Like with marketing, I had to go on Google, just learn marketing and myself so that I can understand the language. What does it mean when somebody says marketing and stuff? Simple by, you know, when you hire somebody, they make these promises that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. But if I can understand what they're meant to be doing, then they do it. So I just go and learn the basic stuff. And once I learn the basic stuff, then I'm good to hire somebody. When I'm hiring that person, I've got to ask the questions based on what I've been learning, based on what they can do better. And also, sometimes I'm not good at something and sometimes I just do it and I surprise myself. And like when I was creating Ghost Talk Show logo, and I was like, do you guys like the logo? And I was my surprise. Everyone was like, oh, I like this one. I was like, what do they think, these people? But I just built it by chance. If you ask me to do it again, I can't tell you how I did it. So that would not be my profession. So I wouldn't do it again. But I did it because of Carol Ann. Carol Ann said, never ever said you're not good at something. So I was like, okay, so now she's sticking it on me. I need a logo, but the people that I can do, they can do logo for me, they're busy. So I just went on my computer 6 hours. I went to bed like 2 or 3 a.m., 4, I think, until I got, yeah. But then when I sent messages on WhatsApp, I was like, which logo do you prefer? I was expecting you all to say that looks ugly. And I was so surprised. You all said, oh, I like this one. I like this. I was like, oh, I'm loving this. But so never say you can't try. What I've learned for me as I go through my journey is you can do anything, but if you have time to learn it, everything requires time. But if you don't have time, that's why you have to spread the work to other people who are talented. That science can't be a scientist. I'm a psychologist. That's what I do for work. So I can't ask somebody. But if you were to ask me things that I've learned when I was at secondary school or primary school, some of it I can't remember, to be honest with you. But I remember my psychology, the degree, everything that I've learned with the psychology. I remember it because psychology is more like working on yourself. So that's why I remember the research, I remember the assignment, because it's all about when I'm writing, I'm like, why are these people making me go through this? It's like I'm writing myself. I'm like doing my own healing. So those are the things that I remember. But other things, sometimes mastering things, you have to actually be prepared for rejection, and which is what I'm actually working on with my confidence challenge, that I need to, like you were talking about vision, Angie, that when you tell somebody your vision, don't expect them to agree with you, because they don't know what that vision, and they don't know whether they don't know how you started thinking about it, what brought that vision. So you have to look at the story. If somebody says that this vision doesn't make sense, it does not mean that it's not real. I always say to my daughter, listen, when you dance, when you go on stage, because she's a performer, I always tell them, both of them, when you go on stage, being on stage is showing your emotions. If there is something that maybe mommy tells you off about something, when the music plays, if it's a sad dance, you have to show your emotions. Even when you are in pain, you have to dance in pain. Don't say, I'm not good at this. I'm like, go and show them that this is my stage. Now own it. Because when you own the stage, somebody else will dance with you with those emotions. And if you don't win the title at that moment, it does not mean that you're not good enough. It means that moment, that person, it did not relate to you, but somebody else will connect with you. Like you were saying, Angel, when it comes to vision, I don't know how many times now I don't tell my family, by the way. I don't know how many times I tell my family that I'm doing something, and then they're like, are you having a laugh? I'm like, no. And they're like, you're crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm being serious. Now what I do is, this is what I've learned from my dad and my stepdad, that if you want to do something, just get on with it and tell people when you are done. Because I've tried to actually do things and tell people before that, and no one does. And Kayla's dad, he actually, these people, they pretend that they don't see who you are. He goes, when he wants to do something, he goes, Nomsa, can you do your thing? I'm like, what do you mean do my thing? He goes, I want to do this, but can you do it? Do your thing, what you do to get the results. I'm like, I have to be patient, because some things requires you to sit there on the computer, fill an application form with 10 pages or 20 pages. So you have to be patient. And some things will require you to actually be humbled and just surrender. Like myself, when I saw Matthew has this challenge, confident challenge, I was like, this looks good. Talking to myself, it looks good. And also it would be nice to actually work on my confidence. And I just signed up, but I didn't sign up because I felt that I didn't have confidence. I signed up because I felt that I could do more. I could have more relationship with myself if I was to go deep with my confidence. And when I did it, I realized that actually there are some things that makes me uncomfortable. When somebody gives me negative comment, it makes me uncomfortable because I know that I believe in it and I expect somebody else to believe in it. So now I'm in a point where if somebody else is giving me a negative comment, I'm okay with it. I'm okay, and I still love them. And that made me realize through the confidence challenge that I don't need to worry. Like Angie was saying, that I need to believe in the things that I do. And if somebody doesn't believe in me, it doesn't mean that my dreams are not right. It means I have to keep going. So those are the things that I'm learning. And as much as it hurts, yesterday, my friend was doing my hair. So we were talking about the houses. And I realized actually when I downgraded the house, my children are young and they're all miserable now living in a small house. So I was like, maybe I didn't give anyone a voice, so I need to give them their home back. So I'm looking for a home now. So yesterday I was like, I need to give them their voice back. So I need to I need to actually start working on finding a bigger home. Like it might not be the same like they had before, because everyone is miserable. Their dad is miserable and they are miserable. They always complain about the space. But the space they need is to disappear, not being seen by anybody else. I don't know, to me, it doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to you, Angie?
No.
It doesn't make sense. So I've decided I'm going to give them that voice that they need and give them a chance. But at that time, at that moment, it had to happen. So I'm teaching them that sometimes in life, it will force you to do the things that you don't want to do. And that is life. And I don't know, with your mindset, Angie, where you are, would have kept a bigger house? That doesn't make sense if the circumstances had changed.
So it depends what situation you're in, my love, because everybody's situation is different. The only thing I can think of, which is sort of similar, me, when I had the brand new Mini.
Yeah.
And the 4-berth camper van. And I remember I decided, right, this is costing me about £450 a month. I am a single mum and I have 2 vehicles. Now, when I say £450 a month, that was paying for the Mini, the insurance and the tax on both vehicles, not the petrol and the diesel. So when I come to me taking the camper van, geez, me, was that a thirsty vehicle? So it was looking at the situation and going, right, okay, I need to downsize. So I don't know if that's a situation that you found with your house, that it was probably too expensive.
Oh yeah, it was on lockdown. We needed the money and the children needed to continue the lifestyle, because
but children have to understand that they're not adults, so they don't understand the financial situation. It's like, well, I've had it with my daughter when she said stuff and I'm like, well, are you going to pay for it? No. Well,
actually the children were fine. It was their dad that started worrying. Now that everyone is on lockdown, they have to change their lifestyle. But to me, if you show your concern, I take action. So if you show me that I'm concerned about this, so I was like, okay, if you guys are concerned, we need to downgrade. So I did that option, and then we're downgrading, and then we go let down in last minute by the exchange. So we ended up not having a house at all, staying with my father-in-law. But then we moved. As we moved, I can see these guys are not happy. And yesterday when my friend was doing my hair, I was like, okay, I think the other thing is that I need to find these guys. I need to give them their voice. Now things are back to normal with everybody else. So I need to give them their voice back, because we still have some things at the storage. The gym is at the storage as well. So I was like, I think we just need to get the house back instead of paying for the storage, have the house back. And it makes sense for them. They have their own room, but they're not going to have the space they had before, where somebody disappears, somebody else not hanging out with family. So we're just gonna get a normal house, big but normal house. So
well, I get it, because summer was a bit, you know, when I brought Olive, she's an 18-year-old Berlingo.
Yeah.
And I use her as a camper car, but she sees it as an old woman's car. And because it's not fast and it's not up to date, it's embarrassing. And I'm like, well, do you want to pay out 450 quid a month? No.
You can drive it by yourself, engine with her.
So I you know, and I remember her saying, oh, can't I have the Mini? And I was like, you got 9 grand? But no. Is that how much it's worth? Yeah. Oh, right. She has to learn. We can't have everything that we want in life. Sometimes we have to, you know, think about what we want. So for me, it was what makes my soul sing, as I said earlier, is traveling. It's getting out in nature and going exploring. That's what I live for. That's my future. That's my vision. It's not her vision, but equally, yes, she has a voice. But equally, if she, you know, she's hardly here anyway. Now she's always at her boyfriend's. And when she's here, she lives in a bedroom. So, yeah, we have to do. I'm all up for listening to other people and giving them that voice. Totally get that. But then you've got to be realistic sometimes. But, you know, like you say, if you've got stuff in storage and that's costing you, then that's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, I said I need to give them a voice, because sometimes children don't understand. Because I know with my dad, he used to sit down with me and explain things, and I'll understand. About these guys, it was like, okay, we need to downgrade, we need to do this. And during lockdown, but we did it at the time. It was the right thing to do, because you can't keep something if you can live without it. There are some things we can live without it. For me, I didn't grow up. I had a normal life. I lived a normal life in my daddy's house, and my stepdad comes from a very rich family. So I know the difference between this life and the other life. And also at the same time, my family, they gave me this mindset of, if you don't have it, don't force it. So it's like, if I don't have money to buy something, I won't buy it. I won't even crave for it. So I just wait until I have money to buy it. So that is the mindset that I have. And back to the topic, and I think mastering a good mindset, and also overcoming any obstacles with confidence as well. I think it comes down with accepting who we are. Like Angie, your daughter doesn't like the car you drive, which I don't blame her, but you're sticking it to your decision that, you know what, this is what I love. This is the person that I am. And I think it's very, very important to actually connect with our uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
Some people may not like it, but as long as we like it, is actually very, very important to know your identity, to know your self-image, to actually know who you are as a person, and also have a good relationship with you. Because if you can't get along, like myself, if I can't get along with myself, so there's no way that I can master my confidence and get along and overcome any obstacles. Everything, like you were saying, Angie, is start with it. So I don't know if you have any comment that you want to.
Absolutely 110% agree with you on that one. It's, who are you? Do you know yourself? Or are you fitting in like a chameleon and going in with everybody else? I was guilty, absolutely 100% guilty in the past, you know, fitting in with other people. I remember a few years back now, and I decided to, and I did fit in the group that I was part of. And somebody made a comment about, oh, look at the difference in you since you've been there, you know, and you're wearing this and you're wearing that, and, you know, and you're minding your P's and Q's, and you're this, you know, the first time I met you and you was in all your fully coloured clothing, and you've got a drink in your hand, and blah, blah. And I sat there after about 10 minutes and I thought, what the hell am I doing? That's me. I like my tie-dyed stuff. I like to be in comfy clothes. Yes, I might have a pint every now and again. I like to be relaxed. Why am I turning into somebody else? No. So finding who you are is the best thing that you can ever do for not only yourself, but for others around you. You cannot love somebody else and give to somebody else if you don't love yourself. So that I totally agree with you then, in that sense of finding out who you are. What makes your soul sing? What is your passion? What is your vision? And work on it. Yeah, I know when you were saying earlier about Caroline saying, you know, don't say you can't. I've heard that before, but there is some things I can't do. And I ain't going to try and BS myself. I ain't good at. I don't like heights. I've tried. You know, I don't like heights at all. So what does Angie do? Face, you know, you've heard the thing, fear the, what was the word? What is it? Fear the fear and face it anyway. Can't remember what the actual words is, but basically, if you fear something, face it. So I'm scared of heights. So I do some sort of like ape thing where you're climbing on this frame, you're attached to the frame, you cannot fall off. I was walking across these really thin planks and somebody was saying, look at me, just look at my eyes, don't look down there, look at me, breathe. Because I was like, so then they were like, right, okay, we need to work on this again. So guess what I did? Yeah, all right, let's go to France, let's go to Morzine and zip wire across between mountains. I could not sleep that night. The next day, I couldn't even get on the ski lift. It frightened me that much. No, that does not make my soul sing. I do not like heights and I do not like it. End of. I can't do heights. I don't want to do heights. You know, so I know there's a little bit about, you know, working on some stuff that you need to work on. But on other things, it's owning who you are and what you want. I had somebody the other day that I'm changing subject a little bit. This did make me think. He went, it'll be apparent in a minute. I've got a robot Hoover, Doris. Love her. While I'm doing other things, Doris will go around and hoover the house. And I had two people turn around to me the other day and say, that's lazy. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. Now, years ago, I'd have took that on board. And I would have got really upset. Because one of the things that I do not want, you know, one of the things, I was brought up not to be lazy. My mum, bless her, she'd sit, she'd watch TV, she'd read books, she'd do crosswords. She was lazy for doing that, for having time out for herself. She had 4 children. I've got one and one's enough. Thank you very much. So that lazy word has been ingrained in me. Reason why I had a breakdown, because I thought slowing down was being lazy. So it just shows how much my mindset has changed now, because that would have derailed me a few years ago. That's somebody else's opinion, somebody else's thought, not mine. And I sat there and I went, interesting. And they were like, what? Now, one used to be self-employed. She now works in the school. And the other one is self-employed. She's a hairdresser. She's my hairdresser. So I said to her, that's really interesting. She says, why? What? She goes, well, I agree with her. It's lazy. I says, right, okay. How much do you get paid an hour? And she went, about 35. I went, okay. How long does it take you to hoover your house? And she stood there and she went, yeah, probably about an hour and a half, top to bottom. I went, so you hoovering is costing you over about maybe 45 quid. Would you pay somebody £45 to hoover your house? And she went, no, I bloody wouldn't. I went, you've just said how much you earn. That means that's costing you £45 to hoover your house. Why would I spend that time and waste £45 of my money on hoovering my house when I can get a robot hoover to do it and I can still do something else? And I says, for me, it's not lazy. I says, it's using this and being smart. What is the point?
Have you got a robot, Angie?
I've got a robot hoover, yeah. Her name's Doris. I love it. While I'm grooming or coaching or doing something else, she hoovers my house. I'm not spending an hour and a half hoovering from top to bottom. I've got better things to do. For me, I think that's smart. But other people think it's lazy. As a business owner, it's smart. I can earn potentially £70 for a coaching session.
I need one of those.
You need one of those. You definitely need one of those. I love it. I think she's amazeballs. She honestly, I could sit there and giggle at her. And I'm going, come on, Doris, move out of my way. You know, she'll try and hoover pudding up, which he gets really
That's not lazy. That's not lazy.
No, but what I'm trying to get across is people's different opinions, different people's mindsets. Because when I said that to her, I was like, you're self-employed. You need to think about this, your mindset. And she was like, what? When I put it that way, she went, I'd have never thought of it that way. And she went, thanks for that. And so the reason why I wanted to tell that story is because the difference in mindset there. My mindset is, what can I do in that hour to earn me some extra money or, you know, help somebody else? Why would I be on my hands and knees hoovering? No, I'd rather be working with somebody else and helping somebody else.
Why Doreen can do the work, Doris can do the work.
Doris can get busy. You know, yeah, I love my robot hoover. She's ace. Apart from at the moment, she's decided she don't want to charge very well, so she keeps beeping at me after 5 minutes, and I'm like, just hoover my house, mate. Just get it done.
That's awesome, Angie. That's really, really awesome. Yeah, the different with the mindset has to be, you know, when your mindset is in the right place, you also learn to respond in every situation.
Yeah.
My friend yesterday, she was telling me her son is having problems at school and is one of the good kids that I know, and she was saying, oh, he's grown now, he's no longer a baby now, he's old. I was like, no, he must be having problems. He's retaliating because he's one of the kindest child that I know. And I was like, there must be something. So I had to give him some tip, and I said, listen, when your teacher speaks to you, if there is something that you don't like, you can't go quiet, but you cannot react to that comment. You have to cool down, take a breathe, and then speak to your teacher. I was like, it's the feelings, because we don't understand that the children have the same feelings that we have. So sometimes the teachers, when they're communicating with the children, they forget this mindset of, I am an adult, you're gonna do what I say you will do. It doesn't work. But I used to look at, I've got two brothers, my younger brothers. When we were growing up, we had somebody in the house looking after the kids, cooking for us, but not for my stepdad. My stepdad will not eat food that is cooked by anybody else, just my mom. So this girl, she will spend time chasing my siblings. One day I asked her, I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, they won't listen to me. I was like, no, you're chasing them. You expect them to listen to you. It became like a game. I stayed there, I think, for a year with my mom. And I was like, this is funny. But then when I said, okay, I'm going to look after them. And I looked after them and they listened to me. They come home from school. I just feed them. I say, it's time for food. They're like, but we're not hungry. Like, you are hungry now. They'll eat and then they'll go out and play. And when I need them to do their homework, I just call them back. They'll come and do what I ask them to do. And then when I tell them off, they're like, you're not really telling us off, aren't you? So you can't do anything. So I was like, but they will listen. Sit down and listen. And that's how I train them, because she spent time, she's chasing them and she's doing this. I was like, why are you chasing them? You need to be firm. ask them how would they feel if you don't listen to them. So it's all about the feelings. People have to. Angie, let me check who's there. Are you speaking, Angel? You're waiting for me.
No, I'm not speaking to myself.
Yeah, I was just saying at the end of the day, it's all about the mindset that people have to, it's the feelings. We have to look at each other's feelings.
Yeah.
What we do in life, will this, if I was saying this to somebody else, how would that person, how would they make them feel? And also is the mindset, or if you want to have growth as well, is the people that we hang out with as well.
Yeah.
So very, very important, the people that we hang out with. And for me, whether you're my family or you are not, I really, really have to separate business with family. I do not discuss my business with my family, only if I know they want to listen and they want to take their life to the next level. That's when I'll sit down and discuss them, and I will not expect them to actually get what I'm doing, my vision, because I know I'll be holding myself back. I know that if somebody wants to know what I do, they want me to teach them, they'll come and ask me. But I will not mix my business with the pleasure or with family, even with friends. I won't do that. If I'm with my friends, I want to see how they're getting on with life. We want to talk about things and have fun. But when it comes to business, I have my own network that I discuss business with. And I keep my family as family. Even with finances, I don't mix business or finances with family. I don't do that. So I just, focus on the business and focus on me and focus on working. There are some family members who approach me and say, Nomsa, can you help me with this? I'm good to go. As long as I'm being approached, but I am going to start dragging everybody else and say, do the same thing that I do, because you'll be surprised with the people's mindset, what people think. And so it's very, very important to some people. Most of people fail with the business because, like you were saying at the beginning, Angel, with the vision, they have this beautiful vision. They go tell their family, and their family don't get it. They say negative things, and then the focus will be that person that says negative things, or it be somebody who is tend to jealousy, because jealousy exists. Normally, the people that tends jealousy on us is the people that we are closest to. So when you have to be prepared when somebody tends, so you have to know how to respond. That is a mindset. So Angie, can you tell our audience, how do you respond when somebody, when you see that somebody's jealous of you, how do you respond?
I find it interesting. But it doesn't. Years ago, yeah, that would have been like, and I'd get really annoyed. Now, just how interesting, because their mindset's different. That's it. I do not take anything on board like I used to. Far from it. But this is 9 years of intense inner work. You know, I look when somebody's jealous or, you know, he's not happy. It says more about them than it does me. So I don't take it on the chin anymore. At all. It's just one of those, I'm not going to think about that. If that makes sense. That's not something that I want in my head. I don't want to carry that sort of thing around with me. So I'm like, is that going to serve me? Is it going to enable me to move forward? Or is it going to deflate me and take me backwards? Well, if it's on the negative side, it's gone. And that's it. I don't even entertain it. You know, when I'm jealousy type thing, looking at it, some people, it is because they want what you've got, because they don't think that they're enough to have what you've got, or So you can flip it and look at it in the positive side. So yeah, regards to me and people that are jealous, it says more about them than it does me. And like I say, it's probably because they're not in the right mindset. They don't think they're enough, or they think that they can't have what I've got. Everybody can have whatever they want. There is ultimate abundance for everybody. There is no need for jealousy. There is something out there for everybody. Someone out there for everybody. There's enough money out there for everybody.
Yep.
But for some, you know, we don't turn around and kick off our mate because they've had two breaths of air more than you. No, you wouldn't, would you? I wouldn't be like putting my hands over your mouth going, nonsense, don't breathe because I need that air. It's abundant, but it's the mindset that tells us that it's not abundant. So it's all about working on mindset. Speaking of that, it's 2:00, my darling.
Yes. Do you have any words of encouragement before we leave?
When it comes to mindset and confidence, just work on yourself. Confident, like I say, confidence comes from taking action. Take small daily steps toward, you know, you're looking at something and you're thinking it's probably way too big for you to do. Break it down into small bite-sized chunks. And that stuff that you really do struggle with, find somebody to help you with it. It's not cheating. So yeah, that is my thing for people out there. You know, my tips: just work on you. Turn the TV off and stop listening to all the negativity out there, and go inside and work on you, and your mindset will change. And when your mindset changes, your confidence changes too, because you'll actually see that you don't take as much BS on board. That's me.
Yeah, work on your mindset and work on your fears as well. And there's always a room for improvement in everything we do in life. And jealousy starts with comparing your life with somebody else. We go out, we compare our marriages with other people, we compare our cars, we compare our businesses, work, whatever you name it. Our hair, compare ourselves with other people. But is it necessary? No, it's not. Just do you and embrace your uniqueness. And this has served me big time, where I intend, what makes me go further in life, I intend to actually, when I meet people, I go quiet. People, they don't know what I'm capable of. So I just observe information. And if you ask me about myself, I tell you about myself. But if you don't ask me, I don't tell you what I can do. I just learn from you and I leave. And that's what has taken my life to the next level. Less talking and more listening. And yep. And
Whether he's one of those.
Yeah. And eyes as well. Your eyes has to be open and be willing to look stupid in so many ways. But you are not, but you are willing to surrender and say, Angie, I don't know how to do this. Teach me. And then you go further in life. That is my advice that I can give you. And we are here at Ngozi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. And please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can join a membership. We have intimacy with our lovely coaches, or you can follow us on Facebook and join our group. We have a Unique Billionaire Mindset group, and we also have Ngozi Talk Shows group. And just follow us there and like our page. Live with grace, everyone, and God bless.